Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady viewing at home, thank y'all for tuning in to Kinetic Aesthetic. I'm your hostess with the mostest. Y'all know my name by now. It's Jern. And since it's Monday, I want to start off by telling you three things. Number one, I hope that you had a beautiful weekend. Number two, I hope that your Monday has been starting off even better. And number three, I hope that the rest of your week is the best of all. Now, as for the topic of today's episode, we're going to be discussing Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson's breakup. And I'm just going to get ahead of it now. I don't really care about celebrity drama, at least not enough to where I'm going to break down their relationship itself. I'm trying to focus on the reactions that have come from this breakup, what it tells us about ourselves and our society, and why we all need to do better, especially us men. Now, Megan Thee Stallion, rap superstar, icon, she's been in the game for a while. We all know and are familiar with the hit WAP. And Klay Thompson is Klay Thompson, NBA Hall of Famer at this point, or at least he's had a Hall of Fame career. Big part of the Golden State dynasty that they had, and was one half of the Splash Bros with Steph Curry. Since they got together back in July of 2025 last year, they were a power couple. They were goals. They were everything and the such. And they were not quiet about their love either. Meg would definitely show him off on social media. She showcased herself cooking for him, doing things for him. We were able to see their love. Klay talked bigly of her in interviews and things like that. So it came as a bit of a surprise when just on Saturday, she just randomly out of nowhere came out, accused this man of cheating, said that he was treating her like shit during the season, and just coming out and just making it clear she's been putting up with a lot, but she couldn't take it anymore. As of this recording, Klay has not said anything, so I don't know of any rebuttal from him. But like I said, it's gotten a whole bunch of responses from people. The NBA world is talking, and you already know Megan Thee Stallion is she is a culture war, gender wars, choice of topic. She's made herself relevant in a lot of conversations. So it's, like I said, it's garnered a shit ton of reactions. And I'm going to touch on both sides. I'm going to touch on the women's side of things, but I want to touch on the men's side first because they've been the ones that have been making a lot of just noise. Now, Meg has had her fair share of detractors since her whole Tory Lanez situations, honestly, since her come up, saying that she's a black woman, as we're going to get into. But it was the Tory Lanez situation that really started to get people on her ass. Now, as I was hinting for just a second ago, she suffers from what I like to call the Michelle Obama syndrome. And that is the phenomenon where any black woman who has some real success, some real influence in the world, she is going to garner an exuberant and unnecessary amount of hate and vitriol towards her. We've seen it happen with Halle Bailey when she started to have her whole issues with DDG. We've seen it with Beyonce even. We see it most modernly and most famously with Angel Reese. I'm telling y'all, go into any Angel Reese post and just look at the way people talk about her. They will make up quotes about her just to get motherfuckers to get angry and start saying terrible shit about her. And of course, we see it with Meg Thee Stallion. It is always the questions of Meg or any of these women being actually men, how they're unattractive, how they're just the worst looking people imaginable, how they're just untalented in their field. You know, you've got so many people that try to talk shit about Meg and how she does nothing but thought raps. Angel Reese is apparently the worst women's basketball player in the league. And Halle Bailey just had so much shit talked about her and how she wasn't shit. It's like motherfuckers love to just find them, because if we're going to play the oppression Olympics, the only person that a black woman is above is a trans black woman. And that sort of plays a big part of what has pissed me off, because it's very, very frustrating as a guy who doesn't hate women, especially not black women, to see just how often types of shit happen. I've had this conversation with one of my friends before, Justin. We already talked about this. It's annoying to see it happen all the time. And so this situation has, of course, brought out those same detractors. You've got your DJ Academic types who, you know, I'm going to use him as a big example because he's such a fat, worthless troll. All he does is sit in his fucking room. He has to pay women to have sex with him. And he's always had a problem with Meg, but this has given him another reason to bring her up, to shit talk her, and to just belittle her. He's tried to big up Klay Thompson, celebrate him for cheating, which a lot of other lame, goofy ass niggas have been doing. And just to get this out of the way, cheating is gross, cheating is lame, and cheating is whack. Whether you're a man or you're a woman, if you're out here cheating on your partner in a day and age where ethical non-monogamy, polyamory, all that shit is out here, it's available to anybody that wants to get into that type of relationship. If you're still choosing to just cheat on your partner, I'm just gonna tell you right now, you bitch made, you pussy. Just literally go find somebody else to be with. Stop literally wasting people's time. That's all you have to do. And Klay Thompson, he's a rich NBA player, so he of course is gonna have women throwing themselves at him. Literally, they call them jersey chasers. It's something across all sports leagues. But for him to sit there and try to tell Meg that he wanted to be with her, have her around his family, like she said, and do all this just to say, hey, I don't know if monogamy is for me and all this shit. It's just lame, bro. It's just lame, and it's bad enough when you have niggas who don't have that type of money and influence doing it. But the thing about it is that when you have a guy like Klay who does it, I guess it gives all of these niggas who are below him in terms of status, in terms of their financial stability and everything, that makes them think that they're okay to do it when it's not. And that's the thing that I think a lot of guys that are really supporting Klay or trying to discredit Meg are feeling. They're trying to live vicariously through Klay, and the fact that he hurt her so bad and did this to her, that makes them feel good because it justifies them for the way that they treat women, or it makes them feel better because they got treated bad by a woman in the past or something like that. And like I said, they're living vicariously through Klay, and when they see Meg upset and sad, that makes them feel like, you know what, that's revenge for me. It's real clown shit, it's real goofy shit, and it's just a big part of what I hate about the internet in this day and age, because the gender wars and racism and all this stuff, it's all of these different little conversations to keep us all divided, and yet people fall for it constantly. People allow themselves to just go into it and just all of a sudden start hating women and start seeing all these news stories about people that don't even involve them, and they're somehow piggybacking of it. They're getting some type of emotional serotonin or anger based off of it. I'm just going to touch on the women's side for a second before I get back to the men. I don't know why women are out here being so, like I saw one that talked about how, oh, Meg got cheated on, so now I have to cheat on my man just as a get back for her. I know that's just a joke. I know that's a bit, but that is based in within every joke, there's a little bait, but there's a little bit of reality. And I feel like there are some women out there who are just living a little bit too much through Meg Thee Stallion and these others, that goes into the whole stan culture and everything like that, which is very prevalent nowadays. This whole parasocial relationship that motherfuckers have with these celebrities, they don't know you. They don't know you exist. They don't really, I hate to say it because it's probably not true for all of them, but they don't really care about you like that either. So we've got to stop thinking that if Meg goes through something, that means that I'm going through something. Like, oh, she got cheated on, so that's like, oh, all these niggas ain't shit. That means all these regular guys ain't shit. No, that's just not the truth. This is celebrity shit. It's not really involve you. But going back to the men, they do the same shit. Like I'm talking about again, trying to always be against Meg, trying to champion Tory Lanez of all people. Because I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, before all the shit happened with Megan Thee Stallion, niggas was not caring about Tory Lanez like that. He was a short, bald nigga from Canada. Niggas didn't give a fuck about him like that, which is what makes it all the more weird, because we still, to this day, have niggas that go under Meg Thee Stallion's tweets or anything that she posts or anything related to her talking about free Tory. If it's something bad that happened to her, it's ha ha ha, that's what that bitch gets, free Tory. Nobody cared about him. He wasn't this relevant. So I still don't understand the mindset of it, but I sort of can understand how some men can fall victim and just fall into that rabbit hole of hate. And that's because, or it relates back to LSC. LSC being the popular concept that I feel like I'm talking about more and more now as I get unintentionally more political with these, but that meaning late stage capitalism. Because it is that same late stage capitalism that is putting us in a position where we have all of these women who are so more preoccupied with wealth, with how much money a man makes, with the financial stability that he can bring, rather than what he actually values as a man or who he is as a person. And I can understand how, if you're a man and you're being brought up in this world where you've got your value just being based off of how much money you make, how much sex you're having, things that really don't really speak to you as a man or as a person, it can lead to frustration, it can lead to anger, it can lead to depression. Because I do feel like it's those feelings that are fueling all of the hate that go towards Meg, and it's coming back from because Meg is she's a strong woman. She's tall, she is unafraid to speak her mind. She's sexually fluid, and by that I mean you're not going to slut shame her or anything like that. She has a whole song called Thought Shit where she's literally making it clear she's proud of using. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that we have got to get away from this mindset of trying to shame women for that, because it leads to this whole predicament that we're in now. Because late stage capitalism has got it to where a lot of men, they are feeling like, because they are not part of that 1%, because they are not having all of the this and the that to offer anybody, that they have no value just as a human being. And society does not do anything to help them. It almost reinforces it. Like I said, you can look all around you, you can look at the way things are promoted, you can look at the way things are marketed, and you can see very clearly that attractiveness, money, wealth, all of these things are the main determining factors in how people are going to view you and see you. If you have a lot of money, or if you have a lot of fame, or if you have a lot of influence, you're going to be able to have as many partners as you want. You're going to have options. You're going to be able to pick and choose. But if you are somebody who doesn't, God forbid you're ugly, broke, and you just ain't got shit else, you are going to be living a life where, if you're just going based off the outside and what is presented to you and promoted, you will feel as though you are nothing. I'm not saying that just based off of a prediction or a thought of this. I'm saying this as somebody who is not rich right now, who doesn't have the most, who has had to deal with a lot of these same emotions and feelings. I get it. I understand how you look up on the TV screen, or you look up and you just are outside and you see what people are valuing. You see what's important. You see how the guy who might be the most thoughtful, who might be able to have the best conversations or really be there for people, isn't rewarded, I would say. And then you compare that to the guy who just leads with wealth, who leads with the money, who leads with his status, and how he is able to get by in life. And it can make you feel not only inferior, but it can make you feel angry. It can make you feel frustrated. I get all that, but that doesn't mean that it is okay for you to instead of directing that anger and frustration at the systems that are in place that cause us to live in a society like this, we directed it in just the individuals themselves or groups. That is where the problem lays, or with the opposite gender. That is where the problem lays, because it is not going to solve anything by blaming the people themselves. You have to really look at what is causing us to be in this situation, to live in a society that has these types of values and ethics. And again, I will try to sum up all this by saying, I'm not going to excuse these men for the shitty ways that they choose to voice their frustrations with the way their lives are going, with the way they feel like society is going. But I'm also going to tell them, hey, I get it, and you can probably redirect this somewhere else. That whole diatribe is what really inspired me to make this episode, because I see a lot of us look at these guys and just want to just condemn them and just call them lame and say this and that. And they are. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of these niggas out here that, if you're a nigga that's really just spending so much time being worried about Meg and who she's dating and shit like that, to the point where you're getting glee because you see her fail at love, which happens to everybody, you really need to go seek some therapy. You need to go sit down and talk to somebody, and you need to get your shit under control. Because that's just sort of lame, and it's weird, and it has never been P. It has never been, as far as I've been able to know, a manly or masculine thing to do to sit there and harp on a woman's relationship choices and shit like that, and just be butthurt about it. Especially a woman that you'll never meet, that doesn't know you exist. And so when it comes to the women's side of it, I think that they suffer from the same shit that we as men do a lot of times, that they are sort of forced, in a sense, to choose between a good partner or somebody who may financially provide for them, but may end up just being an abuser or a cheater or just some other type of shitty partner. And I think that a lot of men, they get enjoyment or they get some type of glee out of that, because especially if you're a guy who's tried to live the right way, who's tried to do things the right way, be faithful, not like treat women like shit, it can be frustrating to see women in your eyes choose the guy who is, to us, clearly we can see whatever issues you're going to only find out down the line or whatever. But what I think most men have to understand is that it's not easy for women either. They have to deal with issues that we don't even have to think about. For a woman, yeah, the guy that she is choosing to be with, maybe a cheater, maybe this and that. He might have all these negative attributes that she's going to eventually get fed up with down the line, or and everything. But I had to really look at myself and tell myself this when it comes to what a woman will be thinking about. Let's say that you have the choice between this guy who seems great, who treats you well, who does all this stuff for you, who spends time with you, is attentive to your feelings and emotions, and really listens to what you have to say, but he has a terrible credit score. He doesn't have any real, he's always perpetually in debt. He doesn't have a car, and he doesn't even own his own place. Like, I have my own place, so I can at least have that going for him. But then you compare that to a guy who, yeah, he's not as attentive. Yeah, he follows a whole bunch of women IG models on Instagram and things like that. But he is financially stable. He's got a good job. His prospects for the future are maybe not like bright, but he's got something going for him. The reason why a lot of women are going to choose that is because not only have they potentially are stuck in that same poverty hole as the first guy themselves, is because that is what society has been instilling in them, and not only in them, in all of us, as what is more valuable and what is more worth picking in the end. And so we have to stop getting mad at the women, and instead we have to start looking at what is it that is leading people to choose and value this material wealth and gain over who someone is as a human being, as a person, who they are at their core. We're not going to ever really have that discussion or be able to have it effectively if we're all the time just, oh, these bitches ain't shit. Oh, these niggas ain't shit. Yeah, she is just choosing to pick the wrong guy because of then, oh, she's a liar. She's not shit. Or on the woman's side, oh, these niggas are all just too lazy. A lot of niggas are just bums, yada, yada, yada. It's a lot of just redundant and reductionist conversation that doesn't really get us anywhere. And I say all this to say, Megan Thee Stallion and her relationship should not be something that you are gaining any type of emotional clarity, any type of serotonin. You shouldn't be really feeling any type of way about it, one way or the other. This is a situation where we had a man who is an athlete, a famous athlete at that, who, I'm gonna tell y'all ladies right now, they are the worst type of people to try to get into a relationship with and expect them to be consistent and be consistently faithful. Especially an active major league sports player, I'm sorry, what are you expecting? These are niggas who, especially in the NBA, they're going from city to city across the year, and they are staying in hotels. They are having women who are probably waiting for them in the hotel lobbies because jersey chasers are a fucking thing, and they're going to just have that shit thrown at them. Pussy is not hard for an NBA star to get. And so I just don't really see the logic in getting with it. But that is not to say that I blame Megan or I blame any woman who gets with any athlete and expects them to be faithful, because it is also up to the man to just be better. To, if you're going to be faithful, if you're going to deal with a woman, just understand that you don't have to just be a cheating piece of shit. And so the other thing that I want to make clear, number one, for the women, not all men are like this, but you have to understand that if you are going to deal with a man who has any type of money in this day and age, with what our country and what our society values, understand that I hate to really even regurgitate a Kevin Samuels ideal, but the high value man is a real concept and is a real thing. Just based off the way things are, just based off the financial instability of the world right now, if a nigga has money, if he has some type of thing to offer financially, he's going to have options. He's going to have no shortage of women who, once they see he has money, they're going to lob some pussy at him. And then men, we have got to understand, and we have got to be better at not only holding other niggas accountable for when they are trying to push these lame ass ideas. Like, we have to hold these DJ Academic style ass niggas accountable, not only for them just being lame ass niggas towards us, but for the way they try to handle, act, and be around women in general. We've got to do a better job, because a nigga like DJ Academics, for him to be able to consistently say the type of shit that he said about women and not get checked is crazy to me. But also, we need to understand that it is not the blame of women for this loneliness epidemic, for this depression epidemic amongst young men especially, but amongst men in general. We have to blame late stage capitalism for putting us in a position where money is the main determining factor in our relationships with the opposite gender. Because if we were in a spot where women felt more secure, where they felt like they had more financial, where we had a more optimistic financial future, I don't think so many women would be putting so much value and emphasis on men having money and being able to take care of them and such forth. This is all coming from everybody just feeling uncertain of the future, motherfuckers not really being able to know what's going to go on when all this shit is said and when everything. Sorry, it was very hard for me to say that right now. When everything is said and done. And I know this started off as just me wanting to talk about Meg and Clay's breakup, and a lot of this does not have to do with them, because Meg and Clay are both rich. Like, understand, Clay has no issue with any of the shit that I was talking about with these regular men are having to deal with, and Meg is not going to really have any shortage of suitors or have any real problem rebounding from this. It's going to suck for her because of how public and how open she is with her love, and how she does not steer away from, like, letting motherfuckers know, this is my man and this is who I'm rocking with her right now. But neither one of them is really the crux of why I wanted to speak about this. The crux of why I wanted to speak about this is that the gender wars are stupid. They're stupid, and they are getting in the way of us making real progress, not only amongst the Black community, but amongst us as just men and women in this world, period. I think we've got to do a better job of understanding that a lot of these voices that are saying a lot of this goofy and silly shit online are minority voices that are just being amplified. They're being amplified because they're speaking to a lot of feelings that we all have, but these are feelings that just need to be redirected, more channeled, more focused, because when they're not, all we do is end up bickering amongst ourselves and shouting bullshit across the room at each other that is not going to do anything to help us in the long run. All that being said, though, this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. I can't believe I just spent 25 minutes talking about Meg and Clay's whole relationship drama, but I did. And I feel like it's important for us all to have this discussion because, like I said, this whole conversation that we have regarding all this is not really prudent to making any progress in any way, shape, or form. It's all reductionist. It's all negative. And that negativity isn't going to do anything for us in the long run, but have us all mad at each other and have us all stagnant. So next time you find yourself getting mad at the opposite gender for something you saw on social media, just remember that, number one, it's just you're just playing into some influencer's hands by getting them paid, by leaving a comment. And number two, understand that shit is not real life. That shit is not the reality, and that any real relationship that you are going to see is going to be a relationship that has give and take, that has ebbs and it has flows. It's based on equality between the man and the woman coming together and sacrificing on both ends so they can keep the other person happy. Not for any other reason other than that they just love that person. Because that's what love is. Love is sacrifice. Love is being there for the other person. Love is listening, and love is doing what you have to do to make that other person happy. But this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. This has been your boy Germ, and I'm out of here.